In this video, we're going to practice identifying components of a statistical study. So first we have the population, which would be the complete set of people or things being studied. When we think population, should think very broad in this sense. So it could be the citizens of the United States, it could be the citizens of the world, or it could be, the students on the UCA campus. We would be thinking, casting a pretty broad net for the population. But it's almost impossible to actually get the entire population or ask everybody in a population in a sample or in a study, sorry. So instead we have to collect a sample, which would be a subset of that population from which our raw data is going to be actually obtained. So on the UCA campus, I could pick 50 people to ask. I could ask 100 people to participate in a survey. That would be the sample, would be the 100 people. Population would be all UCA students. Population parameters, this is what we actually want to collect or figure out about our population. So there's specific characteristics of the population that a statistical study is designed to estimate. So for example, on the UCA campus, I maybe want to know how many cups of coffee the average student consumes in a week. And so I want to know that about all UCA students. That would be my parameter. But again, since I can't ask all UCA students, I just ask a sample, and therefore the information I actually get will be called my statistics. They're the number or observations that summarize that raw data that I was actually able to collect. And we're going to look at a couple of examples and try to identify the population sample, population parameters, and sample statistics. In this case, anthropologists determined the average brain size of early Neanderthals in Europe by studying skulls found at 3 sites in southern Europe. So in this case, we would first start with population. We want to figure out, okay, what are they in general trying to study? I would say early Neanderthals in Europe. All of them, all the early Neanderthals in Europe. But there's no way that we're going to be able to actually get this information, and so the sample would be just the skulls they found at those 3 sites in southern Europe. The parameter, it seems like they want to determine the average brain size, so that would be our parameter. But since they're not really going to be able to figure out about all early Neanderthals, instead my statistic would be the average skull or brain size that they get from those in the sample. So sometimes in these problems, they don't actually provide like a percentage or statistic for me. So I would say I just kind of have to explain what the statistic would be if it were given in the scenario. So here's another example. We plan to estimate the number of students who plan to go to the next UCA Bears football game by surveying 200 UCA students. The population in this case would be all UCA students. We're not going to be able to ask all of them, so we asked 200 UCA students instead for the sample. The parameter, I'm trying to figure out the percentage of all UCA students who will attend the game, but I only asked 200 people, so the statistic will end up being the percentage of those in the sample who actually attend. For example, in this case, if I surveyed 200 UCA students, and maybe it tells me that 20 of them say that they will be attending the next game, then my statistic would either be 20 UCA students plan to attend, or to be more specific, 10% of those I asked plan to attend the game.